All right, super students, it's Mr. Klausner here. I am going to share my screen because we are going to review December 1st and December 2nd. I'm so sorry for getting this out a day late to you guys. But here's the video. It tells you exactly what you need to do and what practice problems you need to complete for me. So here we go. It's the 2nd now. This is for both days, the 1st and the 2nd. Today's the C schedule. And we're in December now. Oh my gosh, this year's gone by so fast. We have a birthday. Those of you in person, there's some announcements there. There's the quote of the week, prayer and attendance. And then today, what we're doing is the project review really quickly. The new lesson, which is reviewing fraction operations, which is actually all review. But we do need to work a little bit more on our fractions. So then we'll play a quick game, stretch, and then there's time to work on the projects and the homeworks. So these are the character traits that I aim to instill that I hope you guys are following and working on and trying to get better at. And here's the rubrics. So I actually don't have this in this PowerPoint right here, but if you want to check that video out, it's on the November 30th video. And I posted the rubrics in a Google Classroom, so they're all there ready to go. And then these are just a quick bit of announcements. This is the last week with homework. We have fractions this week. The final project was assigned this week. And then next week, we will have a review week, BCBD week, and then the finals day on the 11th. And we will work on our final projects that week. And we will also be doing the review to get ready for the actual test that I'll send out on December 9th. So that will be that week. Everything, though, is going to be due December 14th, and that's our finals week. No matter what period you're in, all the finals will be due by 2:30 on December 14th. And then the schedule for finals is the half days there, so you can see that here. And I've made a video about this, so you can look at that one. This is what we're doing today. Here's the do now. You can go ahead and talk about a time you were scared. This addition was in the playlist, and then how would you handle a bully, which is always good to think about. What would you do in that case? Well, let's review some fractions. Fractions are this whole thing. It means parts of a whole. We have 20 out of 57. We have a line there. The numerator's in green on the top, and the denominator, I always think denominator down. Denominator is on the bottom, and it's 57. So we can say this whole fraction as 20 over 57, 20 out of 57, 20 divided by 57, or 20 57ths. 57ths. So that's one way. This is just a review, and we have some main key terms we need to know. Numerator is the top number, denominator is the bottom number. The reciprocal would be the inverse. So if I have 3/4, the reciprocal of that is 4 over 3. So when you flip the top and the bottom, and you need to know that for when you divide fractions. Same with our little saying here, keep, flip, change, or KFC. And that implies when you're dividing fraction, you keep the first one the same, you flip the sign to multiplication, and then you change to the reciprocal in the second fraction. And this is all review. A complex fraction, though, is new, and a complex fraction is when we have a fraction over a fraction, which would imply division. So let's say we had 3 over 4, all of that over 6 over 7. Well, that would be equal to 3 over 4 divided by 6 over 7, and then you're going to solve that like a division problem. Common denominator is what we need for adding and subtracting fractions. An improper fraction is when the numerator is greater than the denominator, and a mixed number has both a whole number and a fraction all together. So here we have equivalent fractions. For 1/8 would be equal to 8 over 16. Equivalent, the root word in there is equal or equiv. So equivalent equal 4/8 is equal to 8 over 16. Really got to know this. When we reduce fractions, go ahead and look at the top one there. We have 18 over 24. They take out a 2 over 2, which is really like reducing by 1 whole. So you're not changing how much that fraction is worth. You're just changing how it looks. So that gets us to 9 over 12. And then they thought, well, actually, I found a factor that goes into both 9 and 12 as 3. So they divided 9 by 3 and got 3. And they divided 12 by 3 and got 4. And that's a reduced fraction. 18/24 is equal to 3/4. We could also have started at 18/24 and divided by 6 over 6 and gotten 3/4 as well. So go ahead and give these two practice problems a try, 12 over 15 and 72 over 81, and send that to me in an email. Here's the multiplication review. So we have 2/5 times 6/7. They have different denominators, which is totally fine, different numerators. We multiply straight across, which is actually why multiplication of fractions is easier than adding fractions. We get 2 times 6, which is 12, 5 times 7, which is 35. The bottom one is 1 over 4 times 2/3 equals 1 times 2 over 4 times 3. We can reduce that to 1 over 6. So go ahead, give these a shot. 2/5 times 6/7, solve 1/4 times 2/3, and solve 14 over 26 times 13 over 21. Here's reviewing dividing fractions. This is where we need to know keep, flip, change, or multiplication by the reciprocal is the mathematical term. So 4/5 divided by 2/3 is the same as 4/5 times 3/2. We multiply straight across and then we reduce, make sure we simplify. There's the number 1, or it's number 4, 5, and 6. So give those a try. The last one would be a complex fraction, 3/4 divided by 6 over 7. I think that was the question I just gave you. Now, addition is a little bit different. We need a common denominator. So we have to have the same bottom number. When I say common denominator, I mean the same bottom number. We can't just add 1/2 plus 1/3. We need to get a common denominator. So what do? We convert 1/2 using equivalent fractions to get to 3 over 6. And we do 1/3 times 2 over 2 to get 2 over 6. When we add those two together, and now we add straight across. The numerators change, the denominator will stay the same when we add fractions. So here are a couple examples you can do. And the last one's a mixed number added together. And lastly, we have subtraction. 5/6 minus 2 over 15. Well, again, we need a common denominator. So they went ahead and took 5/6 to 30 as the common denominator. They got 25 over 30 minus 4 over 30 equals 21 over 30, which reduces to 7 over 10. Here are your examples. Oops, I missed one on that one. Just do those top two. We took a little stretch, and then it is time to work on. You have lots of homework to do. Ratatouille homework this week. We have 4 assignments in Freckle this week, and then you have the big project where you're working on the family tree, the genealogy, you're working on the greeting card, and you're working on, well, that's it. Those are the big ones. So I gave everyone time in class to do that. We cleaned up, we're ready to go. I know this was a long one again, but I hope you guys are doing well, and I missed you, and I will see you soon. Bye.